again, try one. All right.
Four
That's
of
four.
us.
I can't believe I'm nervous. All right, well, I'll be speaking to y'all on the history of recovery and treatment in the U.S. Woohoo! Like a little bit. Around the 1650s in the New England states is about when it started in America. I'm going to jump around a little bit, so I'll tell you that right off the bat. In the New England colonies, they attempted to establish a precise definition of drunkenness. And that includes the time spent drinking, the amount that people were drinking, and their behaviors. You see that alcohol use and occasional drunkenness were influential in colonial America way back, but it wasn't until about the Revolutionary War and around the 1830s, extreme drinking would be looked at in new ways and new languages. And I get this derived from my research on books, a couple of books, the internet, and government research data as well. During the next couple of minutes or so, I'll discuss briefly how alcohol and drug abuse treatment came to be in America. Starting with this right here, you can't see it on the video, but that's the Lexington, Kentucky, I forget the name because I'm nervous, narcotics farm. Oh, you know, yeah. Cool. That's you probably won't show. That's the narcotics farm, and it was almost like a prison because the one behind it, you can see once he moves, is a yeah, thank you. That's fine. Thanks. Is a gate, and they're similar to a prison. Even back then, they locked you up, and then there's a magazine from way back, and you can look at it afterwards. It says "junkie" on it. I thought that was kind of funny when I saw it. So, construction started on that in 1933. And from what I have researched, they went in there voluntarily, and they were addicts. And some of them, for instance, if they were addicted to heroin, they would re-addict them to morphine and then withdraw them back off. So I didn't see that as like very good. Also, they used electroshock therapy even at times. And going back to the history for a second, beer and wine have been documented since about 6000 BCE. More beer than wine was brought to America on the Mayflower, way back in Spanish and Columbus, I guess. Wasn't that Columbus? I guess. And Native Americans, they even viewed drinking, from what we know, that if you just drink a little bit, that was pointless. So they would get like really wasted. And then they developed a lot of social problems, and a lot of those are still in today. I don't know what word I was looking for. In the 1800s, farmers found an ability to turn grain into whiskey and spirits, and then some problems started escalating. Rum came from down in the Caribbean, and more history: cocaine and opioids, marijuana and peyote, and other mind-altering chemicals. Probably have been around for over 300 years, but opioids have been discovered as far back as 3500 BCE before Christ, which is 50-some-hundred years ago on opioids. Benjamin Rush did the early birth of the disease concept of alcoholism. That was in the early 1700s. After that, they had a reformed drinkers club that started in Maine around 1870. The term addict came around in about 1910. Addicts would come in voluntarily, like I would say, and then at the national drug place there in Lexington, Kentucky, the main thing they thought they was given was recovery, but it's and rehabilitation. But essentially, they were just locking you up, and they didn't really have any guaranteed ways of stuff. They also had hospitals, homes, and asylums that came around, other ones. And reform clubs, I said that already, I guess. But there were mail order remedies, doctor this, doctor that. A lot of that stuff didn't work. And there have been many paths to the treatment of alcoholism over the years, and even today we have the Freedom and Oxford houses and the development of MAD. And we've come a long way, and the concept of the treatment of addiction in America is, or back then anyway, they would just classify people as normal or abnormal. If you were a drinker or a drunk, you were just an abnormal person. They just automatically set that a value. They also had Carey Nation and the Keeley Institutes, and I'm not really enough to tell you more about that. And there's so many options available today. We have to appreciate the history, appreciate what's been done and what's been tried and what's worked and hasn't worked, so that we can appreciate the limits of what works and what doesn't, and then we can hopefully become responsible members of society. And it's kind of out there, but that's pretty much it. So,